Tadaima.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Umineko When They Cry, Episode 4. We are in Maria's past right now. Again, this is actually the second time. And, perspective is a huge thing. We started talking about, how one truth can be kind of covered up by another truth, stuff like that. And that's kind of what we have here. A memory that is, definitely kind of a harsh one, is seen as a happy memory at the end of the day by Maria, but to the outside perspective, therefore Ange, she's reading the diary and she thinks this is sad. So that seems to be a theme that we'll be exploring here as we continue on, maybe with the entire series, because perspective definitely seems to be a huge deal here. And also Kinzo might come down to actually interact with the family. That's huge. He's never done that. I'm pretty surprised.
Mama! Okaeri! Mama kaettekita! Mama kaettekita!
Waiting to greet Rosa as she returned home all tired out was Maria in an unbelievably good mood holding Sakutaro. Most likely, Rosa's worn-out expression was partly because she was really tired, but partly because it would be a pain when Maria, who should have been grumbling after staying home alone for several days, would cling to her, sobbing. However, when she was welcomed by an unbelievably happy Maria, and found that her fears were unbelievably needless, Rosa couldn't hide her surprise.
どうしたのマリア。とてもご機嫌ね。誰か来ているの？
It was strange enough to make Rosa think that a friend had come over, and that she had come home right when they were having a good time playing together. But there were no other shoes by the entrance. Even though Maria was in such high spirits, she had been home alone. At first, Rosa was suspicious that the cause of this unexpected good mood could be nothing good. But that really was a needless fear, and in any event, Maria really had been in a good mood while she watched over the house. Even if Rosa's heart had been as cold and hard as a rock, after being welcomed with a smile like this, Rosa started to honestly accept that smile, and a smile rose to her own face automatically. In that smile, you can no longer see any of the wariness of someone who had been unable to return home for several days. Maria kept talking about what a fun time she had had playing with her stuffed animal, Sakutaro. Rosa really hadn't imagined that the stuffed animal she herself had given would be so appreciated, and she couldn't hide her pleased surprise.
そう。
It was a really good gift.
サク太郎と一緒に仲良くお留守番していたのね。偉いわマリア。そんな偉いマリアとサク太郎にお土産があるわよ。
お土産なんだろうね。なんだろうね。
Both Maria and Sakutaro started jumping around. There were two presents. One contained an assortment of Western sweets. Inside was a Scotch cake. It looked to be of very high quality, but Maria was more interested in the other one. The other one was an even bigger box, and it was pretty heavy.
開けてごらん。マリアとサク太郎の新しいお友達になれるかもね。
はあ、なにこれ。
Is it more stuffed animals? Inside laid there like chess pieces were about 20 small ceramic figures shaped like animals. Squirrels, rabbits, small birds, dogs, and cats. And they were all holding musical instruments. In addition to them, there was also a panorama-style background. A forest scene was drawn on it. The small forest animals were gathered in a plaza and looked like they were having a good time. Rosa set it up on the table, and when she lined up the ceramic figures like chess pieces in front of it, it became a band of forest animals.
素敵でしょ？お店のショーウィンドウで見て一目惚れしちゃったの。これをいい子でお留守番してたマリアにプレゼントするわ。
ありがとう、ママ。すごいね、サク太郎。お友達がこんなに増えちゃったね。サク太郎の言う通りだった。楽しく賑やかに過ごしてたらお友達が増えちゃうって本当だった。ね、言った通りでしょ。ほらね、お友達が増えた。ほらね、お友達が増えた。うりゅー。
Relieved that her gift had been appreciated, Rosa remembered that she had been filled with several days of weariness.
ママ、本当にお疲れ様。シャワー浴びてくるといいよ。あったかいの を浴びるときっと疲れが取れるよ。湯船にする？マリアが今日は入浴剤を選んであげるね。
ありがとう。でももう遅いからマリアは寝る支度をなさい。ママも疲れたからシャワーだけ浴びてすぐ寝るわ。明日も早いし。
Yeah, for another day of that grind.
わかった。はいママ、コート脱がしてあげる。
大丈夫だってば。ありがとう。
ママのコート、お外の匂いがいっぱいする。
What are you, a dog?
あ、ごめん。何か落とした。拾うね。
Aw, shit. When she took Rose's coat, a receipt or ticket stub or something fell out. It had been in Mama's pocket, so it was probably important. Maria hurriedly picked it up. It looked like a ticket for the green car on the Shinkansen or something. Atami? Wasn't that a place famous for its hot springs? What happened to the nice, peaceful, happy family moment here? At that moment, with a razor-sharp sound, the warm atmosphere shattered. Instead of the Rosa, who had been there just a second ago, enjoying the gift with her daughter and recovering from her weariness with a long-awaited return home, there stood a person who looked exactly the same, but who had a completely different, terrifying expression on her face. In her hand was the ticket stub that Maria had picked up. She had stolen it from Maria's hand in an instant, just a few seconds too late. By the pain of her hand that had been hit and her mother's expression, Maria realized that she must have done something wrong. But she didn't know what she had done that had gotten her in trouble. It was probably because of that ticket stub-like thing. Was she not supposed to touch it? Even though she had tried so hard to welcome Mama with fun and happiness, she had touched something important to Mama without asking, and had ruined that pleasant atmosphere. So Maria apologized immediately. That's not right. That is so not right at all.
ごめんなさい。
Even though she must have heard those words of apology, Rosa's expression actually darkened. Maybe those weren't the words that she had been hoping for. Maria didn't know what to do, and stared at her mother's reaction. Then, even though it shouldn't have been such an important ticket stub, Rosa crushed it up and hurried off to her room. Maria didn't really understand what she had done wrong.
マリア、きっと余計なことをしたんだね。あの紙はきっとママのお仕事の大切なものだったんだね。
Yeah, I wonder if it had anything to do with work.
それに勝手に触っちゃったから。ウリュウ、マリアは悪くないよ。だから今夜だってこんなにも幸せ。幸せ。ママだってお風呂に入ってすっきりしたらいつもの優しいママに戻ってくれるよ。だから気にしちゃダメ。ウリュウ。
Yeah, but as we're all very much aware, there shouldn't be two sides to Mama here, you know?
そうだね。ママだって疲れてるんだもんね。気にしちゃダメだね。
But that's how it's interpreted, and that's not good. That's
マリア
bad.
たちはこんなにも幸せ。ウリュウ。
もうやめてよ。見てられない。
Yeah, this is pretty sad. I have to side with Ange on this one.
エンジェは幸せの見つけ方が間違ってると思うよ。
間違ってるのはお姉ちゃんでしょ。これのどこが幸せだってのよ。もう痛々しくて見てられない。
何が？ママが急に怒り出したこと？人間疲れていればそういうこともあるものだよ。一時の感情のすれ違いだけで相手を全否定するのってエンジは大人じゃないと思うよ。
9歳のマリアお姉ちゃんに言われるとはね。
There's a lot of things I couldn't believe I was hearing from a 9-year-old throughout the series.
でもそんなことじゃないでしょ。もうお姉ちゃんが拾ったあの半券明らかにおかしいじゃない。
何が？何もおかしくないし、今夜の幸せと何も関係ないよ。
ローザおばさんは仕事で会社に泊まり込むって電話してきたんでしょ。なんで熱海？それって旅行でしょ。マリアお姉ちゃんを置き去りにして旅行に行ってたってことでしょ。しかも普通旅行って言ったら一人では。
あれが仮に熱海行きの件だったとしても、だからってママが嘘をついて旅行に行った証拠にはならないよ。
I mean, it does raise suspicion. It definitely does point in that direction. And yeah, I was sort of thinking she probably went somewhere with somebody else. And I think there were some other hints previously that pointed towards that.
電話で嘘をついてあんなにも形相変えて奪い取って何よりの証拠じゃない。
昔の仕事で出張した時のものかもしれないよ。あるいはゴミか何かをたまたまポケットに入れちゃっただけかも。
Why would she get so upset in any of those cases?
部下の人が出張した時の領収書かもしれないね。だったら仕事の大切なもの、おもちゃじゃないんだからママが取り上げたのもうなずけるよ。エンジェの言う証拠なんて単なる状況証拠、想像と妄想。どうしてマリアとママの仲が悪くなるように解釈するのかわからないよ。
どうしてお姉ちゃんがそこまでローザおばさんの都合がいいように解釈できるかの方がわからない。
やっぱりエンジェはかわいそうな子。君を幸せにしてくれるかけらはこんなにもたくさん身の回りに落ちているのに、なのに不幸せなかけらばかり見つけてしまって傷つき続けている。
I think it's more so that she's looking at the, the truth behind everything. Like, you can cover a lot of stuff up, and that's kind of what Maria's doing. She's taking a sad situation and trying to make the best out of it. And just looking at the entire situation, but all the layers, including the base of it all.
だからエンジェは傷つくことに怯え、傷つけるものが身の回りにないかどうか、それを確かめ終わるまで幸せ探しすら始められない。
お姉ちゃんと話をしてるとおかしいのがどっちかわからなくなってくるわ。
あのね、幸せのかけらも不幸せのかけらもどちらもいっぱいあって世界を満たしてるの。だから身近の幸せが見つけられない人はどこまで探しに行っても見つけられない。チルチルとミチルが青い鳥を探したみたいに。
Yeah, I don't get that reference.
そうね、そういう教訓の話だった。
エンジェはその正反対、不幸せなかけらが全くない世界を探してる。でもそれだって青い鳥と同じなんだよ。だから永遠にエンジェは自分の幸せを見つけられない。バトラはヘンゼルなの？青い鳥なんじゃないの？
もういい加減にして。いずれにせよ幸せな夜がコートから落ちた一枚の紙切れで台無しになったことはよくわかったわ。
怖いね。一枚の紙切れで。なら幸せを取り戻す力も一枚の紙切れに宿れるかもしれないよね。
It could. Very much depends. Are we going to remain in the past here? Just when she'd finally been able to communicate with Maria after so long, Rosa's face twisted with a mixture of anger, sadness, and a fierce self-hatred as she flew into her room and closed the door. Maria's sorry had sliced into her chest sharper than a knife. At that time, she noticed a cute envelope placed on her study table. It was probably something that had come with a girl's magazine. To Mama, let me share my happiness with you, it said. Yeah, feel terrible now, Rosa. She took it, after hesitating, opened it, and read what was inside. Then, after dotting the surface of the paper with 2 large tears, she flew out of the room, hugged Maria from behind as she headed for the bathroom, buried her face into her daughter's back, and cried. And realizing that she was the one who should truly be saying sorry, she apologized. Why is Mama apologizing? There was no answer to that question.
ほら、もう仲直り。あんなのママとマリアの仲良しの前には全然気にすることないんだよ。
So based on that logic, Maria, does it make it totally okay for Rosa to completely, physically abuse you, and in a lot of cases emotionally abuse you like this because Rosa can't control her emotions, her anger, as long as she, goes back to regular old Rosa, normal mama, at the end of the day, does that make it okay? It doesn't. It really doesn't.
私にはマリアお姉ちゃんの幸せは辛すぎる。
エンジェの気持ちも一応は理解するよ。マリアだってこの力に気づくまでは 今のエンジェと同じで不幸なかけらしか見つけられない気の毒な子だったから。
その力って何？私になくてお姉ちゃんにはある。そしてそれがないから私は不幸でお姉ちゃんは幸福だというの？力という抽象的な表現でしか理解できないそれは一体どんな力なの？
うん。エンジェはそれが知りたいんだよね。だから私の物語をもちろんだよ。この力の秘密を。そして私は昔幼いエンジェにちゃんと教えてあげたんだよ。忘れちゃってる？大丈夫。思い出せるよ。今から私が、彼女が教えてあげる。
彼女って誰？
わらわが
Oh no.
マリアに代わって教えよう。
Oh my god.
ベアトリーチェ。
マリアにはあってそなたにはない力。
マリアにあってエンジェにない力。
Fuck. Well, no shit, it's magic. Come on now. Maria and Beato said it together. And then they started giggling because they had said it at the same time. It was an innocent reaction, one that didn't seem like Beato at all. What is happening right now? Where are we? What are we doing? Black tea was arranged on a table in a peaceful garden, and Beato, Maria, and Sakutaro, who was sitting on Maria's lap, were having fun chatting.
ほう、そうか。サク太郎と申すか。そなたの一番の友人とな。
ウリュウ、はじめまして。サク太郎と申します。おう、サク太郎は人見知りするから緊張してるの。大丈夫だよ。ベアトリーチェもマリアの素敵なお友達なんだよ。ウリュウ、マリアの友達は僕も友達？うん、ウリュウ。じゃあ僕もベアトリーチェの友達？うん、ウリュウ。
マリアにとってはこのようなことは日常においてよくあることなのか？
Well, back when she had a life.
何が？
このように無機物に魔法の魂を込め生を宿らせることはそなたの日常においては左半時なのか？
おお、サク太郎は無機物じゃないよ。ライオンの子だよ。うりゅー。
ぬいぐるみはよりしろとして優秀だ。ゆえに毒を持たぬ無垢な子供が話しかけることによってそれに応えようとする精霊が宿ることが少なくない。
I mean, Bleach got away with it. According to Beatrice, every time a child plays with dolls, the dolls actually gain a will and converse with them, sometimes even moving by their own will. However, because of their innocence, the power imbued into such a vessel is very weak. If they get struck with even a tiny bit of the toxin from a human's common sense, which says there's no way a doll can talk or move, well, they instantly revert to being non-speaking dolls.
しかしそなたのそのサク太郎というぬいぐるみは違う。
サク太郎はぬいぐるみだけどぬいぐるみじゃない。ウリュウ、ライオンの子がウリュウ。サク太郎はライオンの子だけどまだ子供だから時々ガオーって言えないの。ウリウリウリュウ、ウリウリウリュウ。
Gazing at Maria, who was playing around with Sakutaro by the table loaded with tea, Beatrice let out a sigh of admiration.
なんということか。サク太郎とやらはその布地と綿のよりしろを書くに完全に人間界に権限している。自らの人格を持ち召喚者と自在に対話をし、しかも自らの意志で動いている。
Yeah, I wonder about that.
しかもさらに驚くべきはそれが異界の人物を名指しして呼び寄せたものではなくマリアがゼロの海から生み出したものという点だ。
After that, Maria boasted to Beato that Sakutaro wasn't her only friend, and that she had many more of them back home. It seemed that there were other similar stuffed animals and dolls who could talk and move of their own will like Sakutaro. It was something natural for Maria. It was natural for stuffed animals to talk, move, and become her friends of their own will. When she saw that Maria accepted this as something natural, as a witch, Beatrice felt a respect bordering on awe. The fuck did I say?
そなたのその力は紛れもなく魔法である。
魔法なの？マリアはまだ魔女見習いだから魔法なんて使えないよ。
いいや、魔法だ。それを自覚して使えぬから未だ見習いなのであろうが、それにしても大した魔力。そなたの友人作太郎の権限こそがその立派な証であるぞ。
権限って？
そなたの場合は想像と呼んでも良いであろうな。他人の手にあっては何の魂も持たぬ無機物がそなたの魔法によって魂を吹き込まれている。しかもそれを強力な力で人間界に留めている。これほどまでに魔法を否定する毒気に満たされた現代において、一個の生命体足り得るほどに権限できる魔力はわらわとて容易なことではないわ。
It isn't hard to give birth to any number of soulless beings. However, giving birth to a being with a soul is very difficult. This is what Beato asserted.
ベアトが言うのがよくわかんない。
Yeah, me neither.
サクタロがすごいってこと？
作太郎とそなたが
I don't know what to take from any of this either. Like,
なるほど。
a lot of this could just be a lot of complete garbage.
最も欲したものは
But a lot of this could also be like the keys we
そなたに一番
need.
濃く宿っているらしい。
It's wild.
なんでベアトにそんなに褒められるのかさっぱり。ねえサクタロ、うりゅー。
真に驚嘆すべきはぬいぐるみに魂を宿したことだけではないのだ。それにより自己の世界観まで変化させた。そなたは無より有を生じる力が群を抜いている。1を100にすることはたやすい。しかし0から1を生じることはたやすくはない。そなたが一人前の魔女になったなら、わらわと双璧どころかわらわとて一目置かざるを得ない大魔女に成長するであろう。原初の魔女。そなたの将来がわらわにとっても楽しみだ。
ベアトに魔女の才能あるって褒められた。よかったねマリア。ウリュウ、ベアトマリアを褒めてくれてありがとう。
礼には及ばぬぞ作太郎。その赤いマフラーは実に似合っているぞ。そしてそなたのような友人を生み出せるそなたの主人の才能に嫉妬する。
マフラー褒めてくれてありがとう。これマリアにプレゼントしてもらったの。僕のお気に入り。
まさにそなた専用のマフラーになるために生まれてきたようなサイズであるな。これはわらわも新しき友人に何かプレゼントを贈らねばなるまい。
Oh boy.
ベアトがサクタロにプレゼントを？
魔女の贈り物は魔力あるものと決まっておる。ならばそなたの友人がいつまでもそなたの友人でいられるよう、そしてそなたともっと楽しく遊べるように、作太郎にわらわの魔力を贈ろう。それによりさらに強く権限することができるだろう。
Is Sakutaro gonna be the next Beatrice?
サクタロともっともっと楽しく遊べるようになるの？どうやって？ありゃ？なんだろうマリア。それって怖いこと？大丈夫だよ。ベアトは怖いことなんて何もしないよ。ね、ベアトリーチェ。
必ず気に入ってもらえるはずだ。さて、より強く権限するにはより強いイメージが必要であるな。さてさて、どうしたものか。
Yeah, what to do, Beatrice? What do you have up your sleeve? Beato crossed her arms and thought about what she could do to please them even more. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's been a while. Virgilia, right? Then right there was the form of yet another witch. It was Beato's teacher, Virgilia. Virgilia truly was a great witch. Since Maria already thought of Beato as a great witch, this person Beato called a great witch must be a great witch. According to Beato, she still didn't even rise up to this witch's feet when it came to magical power.
おやおや、賑やかな声が聞こえてくると思ったら、楽しそうなお茶会
Remember
ですこと。
guys, no allies in this game.
おお、お師匠様、ちょうどいいところへ。このライオンの子を見てほしい。マリアの新しい友人だそうだ。可愛らしいライオンさんですね。ご挨拶はできるのかしら。はじめまして。こんにちは。
うりゅう、サクタロウと申します。
Sakutaro fell to Maria's lap, greeting Virgilia with half of his face poking out over the edge of the table. It seemed he was very nervous, since this was a witch that even Beato called teacher.
可愛らしい名前だこと。上手な挨拶ができたご褒美にお菓子をあげましょうね。
After waving her hands about, Virgilia held the palm of her hand upwards, as though she was lightly grabbing at the empty air. Damn, she's just having a piece of candy or something just pop out of nothing. Then, she held her fist out in front of Sakutaro. When she opened her fist, there was one of those individually wrapped cough drops.
うりゅう、飴だよマリア。すごいすごい。よかったねサクタロウ。ちゃんとお礼を言ってね。うりゅう、飴をどうもありがとうございます。ペコリ。
Even though Virgilia was a great witch, she still treated a stuffed animal like Sakutaro in an elegant greeting, or to an elegant greeting.
しかしお師匠様、せめていちごミルクのキャンディーとか出ないのかよ。これはひどい。もうあなたには飴をあげませんよ。悪い悪い。さて、マリア、そなたの魔導書を出すがよい。もちろん筆記用具もな。
出すよ。何か書くの？
おや、何を始めるのですか？お師匠様に習った魔法を使うのだ。よりしろに異界の住人を権限させる魔法。あれの応用でこのマリアの友人を権限させる力をより強めることができるのではないかと思ってな。それをマリアとマリアの友人への贈り物としたい。なるほど。すでに権限している存在ならそう難しいことではないでしょう。それは素敵な贈り物になりそうですね。では私もささやかですが協力しましょう。お師匠様が立会人にサインしてくれる魔法なら心強い。喜べマリア。これは素晴らしい贈り物になるぞ。
うりゅう、何が始まるの？
I have no idea.
怖くない？怖くない？わかんない。でも怖くないと思う。なんだろうね。楽しみだね。
Beato borrowed the grimoire from Maria's handbag and majestically flipped through the pages. Then she found an empty page among those with magic circles drawn on them and flattened it out. After gazing at Sakutaro with a grin, she suddenly started moving her pen. It was something like a written declaration made by witches to a high-order world. It was magic whose effect could be controlled if Beatrice wrote and Virgilia signed. Maria didn't understand what Beato was writing at first, but partway through, she figured out the wonderful magical power of this document and her eyes began to sparkle.
うりゅう？どうしたのマリア？何を書いているの？
Yeah, honestly, what do we have going on here?
うりゅう？
Sakutaro was on her lap, so he didn't know what was being written on the table. But even if he had seen, Sakutaro probably wouldn't have understood.
すごいよサクタロウ。待ってて、もうすぐだよ。もうすぐだよ。ベアトすごい。ベアトすごい。
力ある書面の筆記においてこの子の才能は素晴らしい。あなたになら魔界の書記官すら務まりそうですよ。
Oh, here we go.
これでどうか。まずまずであろう。
After finishing her writing with an intense amount of concentration, Beato looked over the document again from a distance. It seemed she was fairly satisfied with her work, and Maria, who was also peeking in at it, let out a cry of wonder.
すごいよベアト。かわいい。
黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェの名においてマリアの子サク太郎をここに認める。お師匠様、立ち会い人にサインを頼むぜ。
はいはい、我が名においてこの先生に立ち会い認めるものなりできましたよ。
Vergilia's sign, completing the written declaration. It was a document with the power to proclaim to the beings of a higher world that Sakutaro had most certainly materialized in the human world. Sakutaro, who had been born from Maria, was nominated by the two witches, Beatrice and Vergilia, and just now his existence had been acknowledged by the higher world. That itself was the great magic of materialization. According to Beato, it was apparently quite fortunate that Vergilia was there. After all, depending on the number and quality of witches that signed proclamations to the higher world, well, the power that resided in them could change drastically. Vergilia in particular had many friends in that higher plane, so her signature gave the proclamation a power with which Beato's couldn't even compare.
この宣言書により汝サク太郎を自がある一個人と認める。そしてその存在をマリアージュ・ソルシエールの条約に従い、今よりサク太郎は我ら共通の友人だ。それにふさわしき姿を贈り物としてそなたに贈ろう。受け取るがよい。
With the grimoire still open to the page with the proclamation, she turned it around and handed it to Maria. Maria showed it to Sakutaro on her lap. When Sakutaro beheld that proclamation, he felt something hot and bright begin to dwell in his body made of cloth and cotton. Even as he looked around, nervous at this sensation that he had never felt before, that power strengthened, and eventually a bright light completely swallowed him up. Oh shit. Sakutaro is gonna become a fucking actual character now, isn't he? The cast just keeps on growing. Oh shit. That's not what I was expecting. But what could I have expected here, honestly? Then, when that light disappeared, there, Maria's friend Sakutaro held a new form and existed. And I heard that chime. I heard it. There he is. Of course, underneath Maria. Beloved furniture of Lady Maria, Witch of Mariage Sorcière. His existence is Lady Maria's pure white heart itself. He is an irreplaceable being to her, and could even be said to be another Lady Maria. He holds a decoration as a diplomat, and all witches, weapons, and furniture in the Alliance, and even demons and divine spirits in contract with the Alliance, are not permitted to take aim at him. Wow. Alright. Well, there we have it.
かわいいよサク太郎。すっごいかわいいよ。ウリュウリュウ、本当に似合ってる？恥ずかしくない？
He's a real boy.
とても可愛らしい姿ですよ、サク太郎ちゃん。
マフラーがチャームポイントだと思ってな。あとは耳だ。獣耳はいいぞ。実に可愛い。後でわらわにもかじらせよ。
Now he's gonna get teased by older women.
ありがとう、ベアトリーチェ。素敵なプレゼントを本当にありがとう。
礼には及ばぬ。そなたの素晴らしき魔法と友人に敬意を表したまでよ。そしてこの域にまで達したそなたはもはや見習いをいつ卒業してもおかしくない。今日よりさらに新しく楽しい魔法を伝授してやろう。これより原初の魔女見習いのマリアと名乗るがよい。
原初の魔女って？
うん、造物種の道を求める魔女の称号よ。今は身の回りの小物に魔力を吹き込む力しか持たぬエンチャンターでしかない。 しかし1000年の修行を経たならば、その胸の内より魔法体系はおろか、銀河を生み出すことも夢ではあるまい。
原初の魔女の才能はとても希少。幼き日には誰もが持つのに、誰も持ち続けることができない。この称号はあなたが汚れなき心を失わなかったことの証でもありますね。
原初の魔女すごいなる。マリア、原初の魔女見習い。マリアすごいね。原初の魔女すごいすごい。うりゅう。
I have absolutely no idea what's happening, by the way, guys. Like, I have never been this confused. And I feel like I've said that many times in this series, but it's like every time some wacky bullshit like this happens, and I just can't follow, I can't connect it to anything immediately, I'm just completely dumbfounded, and I feel like, well, this one takes the cake now.
やがては一人前の原初の魔女マリア卿を名乗ることになろう。作太郎だけでなく、そろそろそなたもその格にふさわしい身なりをしても良い頃であろうな。それ、見習いとはいえ魔女の名を語るにふさわしき服装を与えよう。
Oh boy. Maria's undergoing her own transformation, I guess. When Beato waved the pipe that was her cane, many gold butterflies that had appeared out of nowhere grouped around Maria, giving her a wonderful dress. Ah, shit. There we have it. It certainly was fitting for the girl who would eventually take the name of the Witch of Origins, combining both cuteness and dignity. Alright, hold on. Yeah, we have an update here. Maria, the Witch of Origins who will live for the next 1,000 years, possesses the motherly magical power to give birth from one from the Sea of Zero. At a glance, her magical power is weak. However, Zero will never become anything but Zero, no matter how it is multiplied. But the one she gave birth to will eventually surpass the heaven. But the one she gave birth to will eventually surpass the heavens. There we go. Protected heavenly by Beatrice, who understands her true value. She is in alliance with Beatrice, but of course. Did her crown change color? I'm curious about that, actually. Hold on. No, okay, it's always been black. I was gonna say, like, did the fucking crown also change color? But I guess, you know, her style, her aesthetic still kind of fits with the outfit, but it definitely does scream, okay, yeah, we're now a witch.
すごいすごいすごいすごいすごい。かわいいかわいい。このお洋服ママにも見せたいとね。
魔女の清掃はみだりに見せてはならぬぞ。もったいぶった方が価値が出るというもの。
And then the Great Witch, the Witch's Apprentice, and their new friend Sakutaro enjoyed a lively tea party. What a weird way to refer to everybody like that.
私はこんなにも幸せだよ。そしてこんなにも楽しい。
So did this also happen in the past?
幸せになることをどうか恐れないで。
Or did this just occur
幸せ
somehow?
になるというのは今の不幸を受け入れるという意味じゃないの。今の不幸の中に幸せを新しく生み出すということなの。それが原初の魔法。
私は今の自分の世界を認めたくなかった。こんなにも孤独で辛い世界を肯定するのが許せなかった。だからマリアお姉ちゃんの世界に惹かれながらも最後の一戦で受け入れられなかった。
教えてあげる。マリアの原初の魔法を。いいえ、教えたことがあったはず。そしてあなたにも使えたはずなんだよ。忘れちゃった？エンジェだってマリアージュ・ソルシエールに名を連ねる魔女の見習いだったでしょ。
ええ、そうだったわね。マリアージュ・ソルシエール、懐かしいわね。私もそこに名を連ねていることがあったっけ。
When did any of this happen? I am just gone, guys. I really am. But okay, there was all of that. I'm ready to get back to it with the actual story here, but we're not there yet. We're really not there yet. But I guess we're gonna figure out this mariage sorcière thing here eventually.
ええ、あれは忘れもしない。1987年4月のことです。私は友人からある奇妙な依頼を受けました。とある大富豪の遺品である蔵書が大量に競売にかけられていて、その一部に民族学的にも考古学的にも、あるいはオカルト的な意味でも極めて価値の高いものが含まれていると思われる、その価値を内密に見てほしいというのです。
87年、ロッケン島での事件の半年後。
さようです。
Who the hell are you?
それらの蔵書はロッケン島での難を逃れたものと説明されていました。それを島の所有者である後宮エバ氏が競売に出したというのです。
This was apparently a high-class restaurant. A middle-aged man was sitting across from Ange in a secluded and quiet seat. Amakusa could be seen by the entrance. He was probably keeping a lookout for pursuers from the Sumadera family. So going back to him, yeah, finding out that both Amakusa and Okanogi, well, Okanogi we knew came from Higurashi, but so did that guy. I like to, think that they did come after the events of Higurashi, that they're the same characters. They just, this may or may not be that timeline where, Hinamizawa, we know what went down in Hinamizawa, or things were all good, like in Chapter 8. I don't know. They could be from anywhere. They could just be the same characters, but not from Higurashi. Higurashi never happened in this world or something. But I do like to think the former, that they came from Higurashi in some sort of way. And with Amakusa being, I guess, a soldier, and having undergone a name change, but referencing what he used to be called back then. So thank you to everybody in the comments and on Discord for helping me realize that reference. That is really cool. The scholarly man across from Ange spoke politely but with enthusiasm. He didn't lay a finger on the food in front of him, so you could tell how excited he was as he spoke fervently. He was a professor at a certain college, and particularly well known as an authority on Western folklore. However, among his life works, that was only a convenient exterior. His true life work was the study of occultism, Western magic, alchemy, and everything else to do with the occult. As well as demonology, yes, of course. In short, he was the person in the best position to understand the details of Kinzo's research.
まず蔵書を鑑定して分かったことは、後宮エバ氏には民族学的な教養は全くなく、
I'm not even really sure how to pronounce this man's name.
そしてその蔵書の本来の持ち主である後宮金蔵氏は、日本で五子に入る悪魔学の権威であったことは間違いないということです。
Well, let's read up a bit on this guy before we continue along here. All right, this guy's just off to the side here. So this is Professor Utsuki. That time I'm going to go with the pronunciation. If you don't like it, you can scream at me. But a professor at a certain college, well known as an authority on the study of Western folklore, also famous as a hobbyist researcher of the Rokkenjima witch legend as one of the witch hunters. The witch hunt is primarily focused on the straining of occult superstitions to explain the truth of the Rokkenjima crime rather than doing so scientifically. And it's... I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that word is, but enthusiasts of the mystical primarily view it as a type of mental game. Yeah, if you guys know what that word is, by all means, let me know in the comments. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But April 1987, a major city antique shop obtained a large quantity of ancient documents that were thought to have a high historical value. They were entrusted with them by Ushiromiya Eva, who wanted them to be sold at an auction. At the time, it was thought that Eva would succeed the Ushiromiya family and have all the wealth to herself as the only survivor. However, at that point, not even half a year had passed since the accident, and the others had not been missing long enough to be presumed dead, even under extraordinary circumstances. Because of that, Ava had supposedly been in a very tight spot financially, unable to even collect on her family's life insurance. It seems that she tried to sell everything of value, and even the books kept in the place where she had escaped harm in Kuwadorian were used for this purpose. These old books, which would eventually be called the Ushiromiya Library, were later gathered from antique shops by authorities in the field so they could be appraised, and those authorities were astounded.
少なくとも神秘学の見地から言えば、その発見が世界に与えた衝撃は司会文書発見にも匹敵するものでした。後ろ宮蔵書にはなんと1000年以上にもわたる間、その存在だけが知られているにもかかわらず、発見されていなかった数々の極めて重要な文献さえ含まれていたからです。
The many dreams of the occult, such as those represented by alchemy, always stirred an intense fascination, and I still don't know what that is. It is whispered that many magic books of great historical value, currently unknown to the public, might be in the secret possession of extremely wealthy lovers of the occult. Items such as Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks, which are particularly popular among these types of people, are said to be prime examples of this. Again, by all means, guys, in the comments, help me figure out what that is. I might actually look it up after this session. It is said that approximately 5,000 pages of these notebooks currently exist, and that over 10,000 have been lost. But some researchers believe that a large part of this lost portion may be monopolized by certain enthusiasts and members of the extremely rich. It is said that because of this, even now, that these people who can't help but seek these spare no expense to search around for quietly hoarded away in unannounced notebooks. There is probably no doubting that Ushiromiya Kinzo was himself one of these people. No one knows what Kinzo went through to obtain those, but there can be no mistake that he used his vast wealth freely, buying them off of other rich people with the same hobby as him. Those books, which were so valuable that enthusiasts could never satisfy their desire to hoard them away, were discovered in large numbers at the end of the 20th century, and their release to the public had given the entire world a massive shock.
この一件により、六軒島の名は全世界に知れ渡ることになります。
Oh, don't worry. I know the name all too well now.
そして同時に、六軒島の事故によって、未発見のさらに価値ある蔵書が大量に失われた可能性が高いことも、全世界に衝撃を与えました。これにより、六軒島と後宮蔵書の名は、我々にとって生涯忘れないものとなったのです。
Our memories. That hour probably meant the occult neck of the woods with the same hobby as Kinzo. Because of that incident, the name of Rokkenjima had taken on a vital meaning in the world of the occult. Oh, I'm sure. There certainly had been a lot of reporting about the accident on Rokkenjima itself, but not on an international level. However, this one part had spread across the world, taking the image of Rokkenjima as a small island in the Izu archipelago and painting it over as a demonic island where riddles, suspicion, mystery, and the occult met. In other words, until Kinzo's library was leaked to the public by Eva, Rokkenjima had been merely a nameless island that no one could remember, and certainly not the island of a witch. However, when knowledge of the Ushiromiya library spread all over the planet, Rokkenjima's image immediately took on an occult twist.
そして、そこへ起こるのが例のメッセージボトル事件です。
Oh yeah.
これがあの島を魔女の島に変えた。伊豆諸島の無名の小島がオカルトの島へ、そして謎の魔女ベアトリーチェの島へと変遷していったのです。後宮蔵書とメッセージボトル、このどちらが欠けても六軒島魔女伝説は成り立たなかったと言えます。
メッセージボトル。
はい、空の瓶に手紙を封印し海に投じるという不特定対象への通信方法です。
The old-fashioned emails.
無人島から SOS を発信するというのが有名ですが、海外の有名推理小説の影響で、自らの死後に真実を告白するという時間差的な遺書としても知られるようになりました。六軒島メッセージボトル事件は、 まさにこの後者だったのです。
近くの島の漁師が拾っていたというやつですね。
さようです。式根島の若い漁師が手紙入りのワインボトルを拾っていたことが分かったのです。この若い漁師は興味本位からそれをたまたま保管していました。それが後ろ宮蔵書で六軒島が世界的注目を浴びたため公表したというのです。
その漁師による捏造の可能性は？
もちろんその可能性も否定できませんでした。
Yeah, that actually is pretty interesting to consider.
ワインボトル内のノート片には後宮家のとある人物の署名がされていました。後宮マリアという少女です。
Yep.
しかし彼女の遺品の肉質から別人の筆跡であることが確認されました。
Well, that's interesting. That's a neat little twist.
別人の筆跡？
さようです。少なくとも少女より達筆で年齢のある人物によって書かれたことは疑いようがないでしょう。
The thing is here is that I myself can't really comment on this because I know that children, yeah, you can definitely have really sloppy handwriting, and as a 9-year-old, yeah, my shit sucked, absolutely. But there are those that are very smart and very talented. Maria's definitely different. We've all seen it. So it's possible that maybe she has like different, forms to her handwriting. Maybe it was her handwriting.
彼女の名を語った何者かが執筆した可能性が極めて高かったのです。
There's a lot of ways this
よ
can
っ
go.
て
That's all
こ
I'm
の時点
saying.
ではノート片の内容の信憑性は薄いと考えられました。
However, later on it was confirmed that a similar message bottle had been recovered from the nearby ocean on the day of the accident by the police in their search for lost articles, and this caused a sensation.
警察は現場の状況とボトルの封印状況から捏造の可能性は低く、事故直前の数日以内に投棄したものと判断したようです。また双方の筆跡は一致しました。これにより漁師の発見したノート片の信憑性が増すこととなりました。メッセージボトルの内容については週刊誌などが繰り返し報道しているようですが、説明がいりますかな？
いいえ、一応知っていますので。
Many scraps of paper had been stuffed into to both of the wine bottles. It was an extensive notebook written by someone calling themselves Ushiromiya Maria, but who wasn't Maria, and which told of the events starting the day before the accident and up until the day of the accident in a diary-like way. And its contents had been the beginning of the Witch's Legend serial murder incident, as well as the Golden Witch Beatrice's puzzle.
この奇妙な日記風式には、台風で島に釘付けにされた後宮家の親族たちが魔女復活の儀式に巻き込まれ、次々に不可解な方法で殺されていく様子が記されていました。
Yeah, you nailed it on the inexplicable part.
そして最後に黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェがよみがえり、すべてを黄金鏡に飲み込む。まるでそれこそが当日の全容であるかのように記されていました。また当時の島の状況についても非常に詳しく描写されており、後宮家に勤務したことがある元の使用人たちは間違いなく内部に詳しい人間が書いたに違いないと証言しました。
そのおかしな幻想小説と後宮蔵書以降のオカルトブーム、そして結局は真相は闇の中という3つが合わさり、六軒島の魔女伝説を生み出したと？
さようです。すでに10年以上が経過した事件ですが、未だに世界のオカルトマニアの関心を集めています。いや、むしろ時間を得てますますに神格化されたと言っていい。上陸禁止になっている六軒島に密かに上陸しようというマニアも未だに多いとか。未だ未発見のメッセージボトルがあるのではないか。そしてあの日、あの島で本当は何があったのか。
Yeah, that's the big question right there.
未だに議論はつきませんとも。
As though he had finally remembered that he had been going on and on for some time, the man took a gulp of water. His pottage, God damn. his pottage was getting cold. What am I doing? But it seemed that the man's hunger had already been blown away. I'm pretty hungry myself.
確か、漁師のノート編と警察のノート編で内容が全く違うと聞きましたが。
Actually, yeah, you know what? I am hungry. I think I'm going to call it there because I'm going to use the excuse of hunger as the reason why I apparently just can't pronounce anything today. But that's old Michael SK, right? Like, that's how I be sometimes. But yeah, we'll call it there on that one. Pretty weird recording session. I really have no idea what went on for the bulk of it, but it seems like we're finally getting more on solid ground, which I would prefer, you know? A little bit more understanding of what the fuck is happening. That would be a little on the preferred side. But thank you all for watching this one. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take it easy.